This is a view of the light, a fire burning through the night. Oh, we rise, we shine, we take the fight. Oh.
There it is. Thank you. I'm still trying to get this lit real quick here. I got a little yerba sante, something like that I have because I ran out of sage. Yeah, so I'm just opening the little space for us. Usually beforehand, I like to open up, but when I come here for everyone arriving, this is for you. Welcome to Spirit Sessions of View of the Light. We have been doing some fun stuff for the last couple of weeks. I hope you've all had a chance to enjoy it. And if you have, go ahead and share that with us in the comments. While I click things here, yeah, okay, I'm making sure I didn't lose nothing. Let us know where you're from. I see spirit. No, what do I see there? It's, how did I do that? Okay. See, this is why I don't click things. Anyway, we're going to move on. I got you down to a little tiny size, and I didn't mean to do that. And I don't know how to quite fix it. So I could still see you, though. I got glasses, too. But we've been having so much fun, you guys, and I'm so excited. Rhonda's busy this weekend, and so, she's sending her energy and all. But what we've been doing was we started out with Kiara Lani, who was opening up our Unleash the Voice of the Divine Feminine series. And we were learning about how creativity is a very important, vital part of being in the feminine and finding that voice within you. And then we went on and we were learning about how the Pleiadian star mothers taught us more of our history and things. And then that was from Dr. Amber Wolf. And then we had Lightstar, who gave us this wonderful, beautiful activation that stayed with me for a couple of days, a light language activation from multiple tongues. And that was really exciting. And today, you guys, I tell you, this is the fourth part of the series. This is the one that you've all been waiting for. And so with that, I would like to welcome Laura. Welcome, Laura Hosford. How are you?
I'm good, Teresa. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today with you and your beautiful community and to have this beautiful conversation and actually transmission, between us. I think that these are so just beautiful and, just so necessary and needed today when all of us come together to support each other in remembering that we are essentially love and light, right? Embodied in form. We are spirit in matter. And thank you so much, Jessica. I can see your comments. Welcome. And just to have this time together and share this time together in, is part of, being here to remember and awaken our own inner grail light, right? That, I'm here to kind of remind others, I guess, as Mary Magdalene, as Mother Mary have come in and so graciously led me for many, many years. And that, it's also available for you too. And that is very real. This is very real. This is not just some sort of fantasy, or myth. That this is can be your true life experience right now, here in the present now. So I'm just always very, very grateful to have these opportunities to come and share. And really, if I can help one other sister out there or one other brother out there who,
Yes.
are remembering that they're also part of the Magdalene frequency, then, my heart is just really overjoyed.
So before I start the 3 questions, though, I am just totally 100% curious. What was it like when you're realizing that you not only carried the lineage, but you could speak and help other people with it? I mean, did you just sit there one day and like, oh wow, I got it, or did you like one thing make sense after another after another? How did it come about that you realized that this is your part?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, it came about unbeknownst to me that I was part of the Magdalene lineage and a carrier of the bloodline. Really, for me in 2016 was sort of the pivotal year. I'd been on my path. I'd had a huge awakening in 2008 to put me on the path. But at that time, I didn't really recognize that it was actually um, the goddess energy, Sophia, Mother Sophia's energy, the Magdalene current that was kind of in the background that yet had not, kind of come front and center into my own consciousness. But it was absolutely holding me there. It was actually holding me since really, since my birth, since being inside my own mother's womb. So really in November 2016, I was having a session with a friend. We were both intuitives and we were like, practicing and giving each other, soul readings, if you will.
Oh,
And so we were, she was leading me, and Mary Magdalene came into our session, and she actually I could see all this clairvoyantly because I'm a multisensory channel. So clairvoyantly, I could see what was happening. She came in and she actually knighted me in front of my family. So it was something that was totally unexpected, totally a surprise. And so I could see clairvoyantly my mother's side of the family over here, my father's side of the family in the etheric who were witnessing my grandparents and my mother and father. And she literally, I knelt before her. She had me kneel and she took the sword and she literally, knighted me. And then she actually downloaded me with her memories and her gifts, her wisdom, and it was all quite kind of overwhelming at the time, and it was something that took me, a while to really integrate that. But that's kind of how it began. And then the next year in February 2017, my higher self and my higher guide said, "Oh, you're going to France this year." And I said,
wow.
"France? I mean, I really didn't have it on my bucket list, right?" And so, although I always loved Paris, but so my good friend Gwendolyn, who had studied with Tom Kenyon for many years, and Tom Kenyon, he has done some of his beautiful Magdalene work in the south of France, in the Venus Node near
Yeah.
Rennes-le-Château, right?
Oh,
So sure enough, that June, my friend Gwendolyn, we went together for 2 weeks because she knew exactly where to go. We did stay at Les Labadou, which is kind of a famous retreat center there at the foot of Rennes-le-Château, which sits there in the valley. And yeah, I went into the cave that Mary Magdalene was said to have
wow.
prayed in right across from the valley. It's a very, very powerful cave with many goddess elemental energies and cosmic.
Oh,
It's where cosmic energies come into a portal, but they also come in up through the Venus node there in the
okay.
womb of the earth.
Wow.
So I sat in that cave for an hour or so, and Divine Mother came in and she basically showed me a movie. It was like I was watching a movie of the earth being created many millions of years ago, and that I had been incarnating over and over again into this particular earth, and that my soul was very ancient. So when I left that cave, Teresa, I was given a whole new mission. It was like my
Oh,
whole life just did another kind of turn, and
wow.
I came out, understanding that I was being asked to be a leader for the
Oh,
divine feminine movement, in particular, for the divine feminine leadership, the divine feminine uh, of the Christ-Sophia returning to this planet. And, I was just like, I don't know. I mean, the energies were so, I was like so filled with light, right? And bliss. And it took me months to really integrate,
I
that,
bet.
which, but it was so powerful and it completely changed the trajectory of my life. And that was 8 years ago now. So that's kind of how I got
Hmm,
started. And
I love it.
it just, this is, I think what I want to say is that, this is available for every woman or man who,
Yes.
are, we're all part of this Magdalene stream, this Magdalene consciousness that was reseeded, that was seeded by Yeshua and Mary Magdalene 2,000 years ago into the DNA, into the bloodline. So knowing that at this time that we're at now, this very special time, right, in the crossroads of humanity, that we would be returning to be the ones who are the light carriers, the grail carriers, and carriers of this Magdalene frequency that this Magdalene frequency, this Magdalene consciousness is really like a stream of, the Heragamic Christos-Sophia codes, and that we came back to help to activate those codes in the planetary grid that surrounds the Earth, which includes the 7 Venus nodes around the world, which are the direct pathways, if you will, of planet Venus, who is our
Oh,
sister planet that she moves around the earth every 8 years. She creates this sort of pentagram in the sky, but what it's also doing is it's infusing infusing her pure divine feminine light, into the earth, and in particular into these Venus nodes, these 7 Venus nodes around the earth that are like, you know, cups, if you will, or chalices that
oh
are
yeah.
held within the land and held within the mountains and the lakes, the rivers, the land itself, whatever that looks like, and is holding that potent field of energy there. And then all of these are connected, around the world into the ley lines around the world as well. So as we kind of activate and remember and awaken our own, you know, soul aspect, if you will, as part of the Magdalene frequency and consciousness, our own inner flame light, if you want to call it that, then, this is the rise of the high priestess this year in 2026, which is really part of the prophecy of the return of the Christos-Sophia, the return of the high priestess, and the birth of the divine masculine this year in
Oh,
2026, which is
hmm.
all part of it's all part of the plan, the divine plan, if you will.
Oh, I love this. Okay, I got just a couple of questions of clarity.
Hmm.
I say it's for me, but
Yeah.
we could pretend it's for everybody else. Like,
Hmm.
oh, this is what we need to. Okay, no, how? Two things I really want to understand a little bit more is when I see things akashically, I really do see streams go through Venus,
Hmm.
different streams. Okay,
Hmm.
I don't fully understand this. So what I really want to understand, what is the significance of Venus
Hmm.
to all I understand what I think it is, but I would love to hear this from you.
Yeah, so Venus, of course, is kind of our sister planet to the
Right.
Earth,
Okay.
and Venus holds the feminine, the pure. The way I see it is the pure feminine, divine feminine, Christos-Sophia energy.
Right,
Okay,
right.
it's the holder of the Magdalene stream of the Christos-Sophia energy that is streaming into the planet, into the mountains and the rocks and
Right, right.
the hills, and in these particular 7, they're called Venus nodes around the planet.
Yeah.
Then it's like the land and is being infused and like saturating and soaking up this energy and holding it on Mother Earth, right? So that we can begin to access that energy. We can actually go and do our, grid work, for example, in these places and spaces around the earth. And we can open up that channel, right, between as us as a priestess, because a priestess is, the way I see it, she's the bridge, if you will, between heaven and earth, right? Between the cosmos and between Mother Earth. And so this pool of pure stream of Venus energy that represents the pure stream. It's never been distorted. It's just a pure stream of that divine feminine energy that is being infused into the earth. So when we go and we can uh, you know visit these places, and one of them, of course, is in the south of France that I was speaking of, where I
Yeah.
was first called to, near the town of Rennes-le-Château, and in that area there. So when you go there and you connect with the frequencies of Venus. That is the frequency of the Magdalene. That is the frequency of the divine feminine Sophia Christ. And so it begins to, if you are open to it and you set your intention, to go and to open to receive that frequency and to begin to allow it to ignite within your heart, to ignite within your womb, your pineal, within your body, right? Then you can begin to open up that new threshold of beginning to remember, oh, I also carry this Magdalene frequency within my blood, within my DNA,
Oh,
within my lineage. And it begins to really help you to awaken, to remember that you're part of this. And then as you do that, and you awaken those light codes also within you that were seeded, right? That were seeded 2,000 years ago, through the inner Heragamic union between Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, right? That happened, then these codes are now beginning to awaken within you. And then as you go back to wherever you live, let's say in the world, then you're bringing that light, you're
wow.
bringing those frequencies with you, and you can seed them into where you live, right? You can seed them into the land, through your heart, through your blood, through your bloodline. So that's kind of what happened to me. Several times. And then, of course, in Glastonbury is part of the
Oh,
Michael
I've
Mary
heard
ley
that.
lines. Now,
Right.
Glastonbury is not one of the Venus nodes, but Glastonbury is still connected to through the Michael Mary ley lines. And Glastonbury, of course, at the Chalice Well,
Right.
it is connected all the way down into kind of a threshold. They call it a threshold energy, where it's like another special vortex of course, Glastonbury we consider the heart,
Yeah.
right? The heart chakra of Mother Earth. And then, of course, where I live now in Sedona, Sedona is another one of the seven Venus nodes around the Earth, and I actually
Wow.
I actually never didn't know that until a couple years ago through doing my own research, and actually connecting with Maya Nortrude, who's an expert on the seven Venus nodes. And then, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that Sedona is actually I call it the red womb priestess. So it
Oh,
activates the sacral, the womb space, but and so it's also connected to directly to the grid of South France, of the womb there. So it's very interesting how, when you begin to awaken on your own journey and you just begin to be open to receiving the guidance, receiving the wisdom, paying attention to the synchronicities,
yeah.
um, you know, just being willing, I guess, Teresa, I was very hungry almost I felt like when I was waking up to all of this information, it was such a miracle for me, right? And for others who
Yeah.
I've seen awakened. So now, um, being on this pathway 8 years, and now I understand why it was seated in my heart to do sacred retreats. So I do lead sacred retreats for women to the south of France. Um,
Wow.
and I do them here in Sedona as well. And so for women who are ready to begin to remember their priestess pathway and who want to begin to embody, because as we heal the wounds of the feminine, right? And it all starts with healing the wounds of the feminine first. And
Right.
that was what Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, they both came to me actually in 2016, and they started to lead me to this new part of my own journey because they explained that. And at that time I was doing Akashic records like you do
Uh,
Akashic records,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I was teaching students how to connect with the vertical stream up, to the higher realms, bring it down to the heart, and work with their records, which was beautiful. It's all very part of the journey. But then they began to explain that I needed to go and bring the light down into the lower chakras, right? Into the first, second, third chakra, but most importantly, the womb chakra. And
okay,
that to become fully embodied priestess, um, to become the full bridge between heaven and earth,
right,
right? Heaven being the upper chakras, earth being the lower chakras, the masculine, the upper part of the body, the feminine, the lower part of the body, that we needed to bring that spirit, we needed to bring the descent, descend our own flame, if you will, our own flame spark into the lower three chakras and into eventually the whole body. Because
right.
as a priestess, your body is an oracle, right? She's an oracle. So it was really quite beautiful how all of this unfolded, and I just trusted. And the more I trusted, the more I just took one step at a time. It everything just sort of, began to bloom and flower. Now, not that I didn't have challenges, of course there are challenges, right? But with every, challenge comes, as we say, that opportunity
Yeah,
to just, for me, I would say it was more of just, I worked a lot with devotional energy as a priestess. I don't really work with the vibration of discipline. I think that's a very kind of more, for me, it's a little harsh,
okay,
but I like, being a priestess, a true priestess. I like to approach everything with devotion, with ritual, with intention, with respect, right? Um, and as best I can. So
love that.
it really really saved me, Teresa, because you know, um, the first part of my life was challenging, and I grew up in a very challenging home life, and
Okay,
I, at 13, was asking God at the time, being from a deep South, coming from the deep South and raised in religion. And I didn't understand why I would go to church and I would hear others speaking about love and peace and joy, and harmony, but going home realized that we didn't have much of that at home, right?
right.
Or that I could find anywhere in the world. Now I found it in nature, and
Oh yeah,
I found it in music, right? And those two things
yeah.
were very powerful, and they can be for all of us. But, so this search was going on since I was around 13. I just asked God, I want peace, I want peace, I want peace. So the Magdalene frequency, as you were saying earlier, that you see streams of light. Well, that's a good way of maybe describing it. It is like a pure stream of light or a pure signal, if you will.
Okay, okay.
And so as we walk on this journey of the priestess, and however that begins for us, however um, you're being guided to do that, then really what we're doing is we're being called. We talk a lot about alignment, right? But for me, alignment sounds like a very mental term. It's like, well,
Okay,
what does that mean, alignment, right? So, just doing an inquiry on that, but it really is, it's not just a mental concept. It's about turning on this frequency
okay.
that I'm speaking of, the Venus frequency, or that is the Magdalene stream, if you will, being infused into the earth, are really one and the same. It's the divine feminine Sophia Christ. It's the missing piece to the bigger picture that we've kind of been living in with thousands of years of, well, here's the Father God, but where's the Mother God, right? Because I mean, first of all, you're not born through a male body, you're born through a female body, right? And the female body is created in the image of the mother, right? Earth mother, cosmic mother. And through that beautiful miracle of birth, we're given the opportunity to birth a child into the world, right? So, I forgot where I was going with that, but
Yeah.
it's a miracle, and so you begin to awaken, right? Whatever your pathway is to find your kind of individual, say your individual flame spark, that part of you, that original soul blueprint that you were created in the image of Mother, Father, God, and those qualities, we all have feminine and masculine qualities within that, right?
Yeah.
So, all of this begins to awaken on your journey, and very specifically, you planned it, I believe, before you came into this incarnation, right? And whatever your parents, your childhood situation, the town you grew up, the country you grew, it's all perfectly designed, even though challenging, to awaken you to remembering, that you're a priestess and you're carrier of the rose grail and the rose grail lights, which include the feminine and the masculine.
Wow.
So, yeah, is that making sense?
Oh, yeah. No, I am totally loving all this. I'm feeling all kinds of excitement. There was one more thing, though, that I did have a question about before I ask you the other three questions, though.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm really, really, really excited what you said about 2027. Okay, I didn't even write it down then. 2027 being the year of the divine masculine, something, what happened? Birthing. Yeah, there it is. I
Yeah.
found
So
it.
this year is according to the Magdalene prophecy. Okay. So the Magdalene prophecy, we cross your threshold, if you will, this year as Magdalene Rose priestesses. And we began, all the years of inner work we've been doing, the sacred journeys we've been taking, the meditations, the books we've read, the circles that we've been in, and all the things we've done, right? To awaken and remember that we are the Holy Grail, and that your body is also part of the Holy Grail, right? And you are the carrier of the Magdalene frequency. You're the carrier of this light architecture that unites the womb of cosmic mother Sophia, and we're streaming that down with the solar logos being the Christos,
Right.
the Magdalene, excuse me, the masculine, the divine masculine, and that we're weaving all of we're weaving these two frequencies together, right, through us, right, layer by layer, and then anchoring that into the heart womb core of Mother Earth, right?
Wow.
So we're the keepers of the grail. We are the embodied heart womb oracle here to tell the truth, right? We're the truth tellers. We're here for healing, and we're here for resurrection of the divine feminine who carries the Magdalene frequency this year in 2026. And as part of that, as we begin to rise and anchor into holders of this beautiful, um, flame, grail flame of the Magdalene frequency that's burning within our heart, our womb, our pineal, and our body, um, that it becomes, that is undistorted, right? It's undistorted. It's pure. And we begin to really embody that and allow it to expand, allow it to really enfold us, in every level, every chakra. That is the true inner alignment, you know, that we're now aligning with this divine remembrance that we're not broken. We don't need
Yeah.
fixing. We don't, you know, we just come back into full grounded presence that this is who we are, and that but we are an individuated spark or flame inside of this beautiful eternally burning Magdalene frequency. So as we do that this year, right, very intentionally, you know, in whatever way we're guided and led to do that, um then and as we take, and that takes hold and takes root, you know, we've got to root it all the way down the seven inner chakras. We've got to root it down to the earth star. We got to root it down into every cell of our body and being, every cell. So this body, this body is also part of it. This physical temple is part of that. And we bring, that's the descent of of uh our inner spark, our inner flame, the individuated, you know, part that we
Yeah.
are, embodied within. We realize, oh, I'm already inside the Magdalene flame. I'm not outside of it. It's not apart from me. I'm not separate. It's all right here, right now for me. So that's the awakening and remembering peace. And then as we do that, then and we can begin to invite in that inner divine masculine piece, right? The wounded
Yeah.
masculine. And we can, because once we heal our feminine, we open the heart, and then we approach our inner masculine, and we begin to call him forward to work with him to help to heal, you know, his wounding, right? So that we can
Right.
then prepare ourselves for the sacred union, right? The
Yeah.
sacred
Right.
union and embodiment of we call the heroes gamos. So, you know, as that happens, it happens more on an individual basis, but this is kind of the theme for this year, so that by 2027, right, we will walk into 2027, you know, completely now, you know, with this signal turned on inside of us, right? This pure signal of the Magdalene frequency that we're
Wow.
embodying, and we've invited in, you know, our inner divine king energy, and he's merged with the inner feminine through Hieros Gamos. And now we're ready to go to the next level in 2027. So, and this can happen again, it can happen, you know, spontaneously
Wow.
also. It's not like a prediction. I actually had
Right.
earlier, well, at the end of last year, I was in a deep meditation space, and I actually saw my feminine come out of the cave. You know,
Oh.
I saw her come out of the cave. She had healed enough that she was now ready to come out of the cave and be fully seen again. So she
Wow.
walked out of the cave, and then she's standing kind of like looking down this um I don't know where it was, looking down into a river flowing down here, but you know, into almost a new world, if you will, and just fully ready to shine her light, because you
Wow.
know, Mary Magdalene was our mentor, right? She came to be, you know, the egg that she was carrying, the Bennu egg was the carrier. She was carrying the frequency of the divine feminine Sophia Christ within that egg. Um, but you know, she is the light of the world. She is the feminine Christ vibration, and that's the missing piece that has been suppressed and denied and pushed down and distorted, condemned, you know, for the last several thousand years.
Right.
But is what I came to understand and learn is that um, through the Marys as well, showing me and helping me remember that we have to anchor the divine feminine Christ vibration into our bodies, Teresa, and into the ley lines. We have to activate those in ley lines around the world and the nodes. And we have to, you know, become the bridge in order for her vibration, right? For the feminine Christ vibration to take root and become anchored, so that we then spark her vibration around the world globally. And then Now then, at that point in in humanity, in the collective consciousness, there can be an awakening there, right? Because now the feminine has returned, the Christ
Right.
feminine, and then the mother of the world, divine mother Sophia can come in, and then we can heal the masculine, and we can bring in the inner king so they can sit king and queen side by side again, right? In perfect honoring and respect and equality together, not
Yeah.
overriding each other, not overriding, but seeing each other as equals, just as Yeshua and Mary Magdalene
Yeah.
did 2,000 years ago, right? So this is where we're going so that, 2027, according to the founder of human design, is the rise of the new human, of the new
Nice.
divine human. I don't know if that's the term I use. I don't know what term he uses, but um, yeah. So I feel like this is very much a year that is so crucial, that we're crossing the threshold, and that for every single one of us who raise our hands and say, I'm willing. I mean, you can do this in the privacy of your home. We can do this like we're doing here on this beautiful, spirit sessions that you hold to help others, to reach other women and even other men who are carriers of the Magdalene frequency, and to begin to support each other, remind each other it's time to awaken and remember who we truly are, we like to say, right? And to begin to really embody this frequency. And when I say embody, I literally mean at the physical level, in our cells, right?
Right.
In our, not just the chakras, but in every cell of our body and being. And, it's no small task, it is, it's challenge, but also it is what we came for.
Yeah. We were born to do this,
We were
right?
born to do this. We know how to do it. Exactly. We're born to do this. We know how to do it. Um, and we're doing it. We're doing it despite, I feel, all the distractions going on, the what ifs going on, the this, the that, or whatever. you know, I do see the rise of the divine feminine,
Yeah.
rising. Um, every day I see women waking and asking questions. Oh, um, could I be that? Just being curious, right? So,
Hmm. Yeah.
um, yeah, so it can't, I guess what I'm saying is that please know that, and part of the message today, because I was looking at this, that you are divinely supported at all times. You are divinely protected and safe at all times, um, on your mission. And that despite the challenges that come, despite the difficulties, the pain and the suffering that we all experience at some level every day, right? Despite, you know, the things that we're being told, the one thing that my highest guides, including the Marys, have told me, that this frequency, this Magdalene Sophia Christ frequency that you are remembering and allowing to awaken again in your body, is more powerful than anything that's part of this demiurge, if you want to call it demiurge, matrix illusion.
Right.
That, just continue to put one foot in front of the other on your path of devotion, no matter what is happening. And it's not about doing it perfectly, and it's not about walking in some linear, way either, right?
Right. Right.
Um, it it is happening, Teresa. This is really, really happening. It's real. I think it's what, I want people to take away today, that it is real and it is happening. And, you know, if you're not in a women's circle in your area, find one. Find a women's circle to be with other women on this pathway, either in person if you can. I like in person, but if you can't, do it online like we're doing here. And because we're always communicating, I'm transmitting the Magdalene
Yeah.
frequency to you right now as we're in this conversation, through my words, through my my voice, right, through my vibration, as other women who are part of the Magdalene stream. I'm not certainly saying I'm the only one. I'm not. I'm just one of thousands, that are here, that I was blessed enough to have the Black Madonna energies come in to help to support me to awaken, to remember, so that then I can begin to help other women and even men to awaken, right? So,
Yes, yes.
um, yes, and so Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, they held the sacred divine union codes that were seeded, 2,000 years ago into the bloodlines that carried through the Essenes, the Gnostics, even through the Cathars. And
Yeah.
you may have heard about the prophecy of the Cathars, that they said they would return in 700 years, which was in 2021.
Okay.
And
Wow.
as I recently discovered this past summer when I took my retreat to France, and Mary Magdalene came to me just a few weeks before we were going, and she said, I want you to change one of the sites on your retreat, and I want you to come to Montsegur. Now, I knew about the Montsegur and the castle at Montsegur, and that was the last stand of the Cathars, and,
Oh, wow.
that whole thing that happened, but I hadn't been called to go there, Teresa,
Huh?
but it came in so strongly to take this particular group of women, because every retreat I do,
Oh,
there's a particular group of women that are called, right? And
right.
for a purpose and for a soul mission, for a mission.
That makes sense.
So when we went to, and this is in Cathar country, and when we got there, well, I had heard through other priestesses that there was a stirring in the field, that there was something going on in the field, like disturbances and rising up in the Cathar region. And she had put a call out to other priestesses that other priestesses could go and do grid work or prayer work.
Wow.
So, I said, "Oh, well, we happen to be going on a retreat. We're going to be going there to do prayer work." And that's was taking my book, Rise Divine Earth Angel, with the prayers to activate those prayers of the Magdalene frequency with the ley lines and with the in the womb temple. So we went up Montsegur, and Teresa, it was just amazing. France had been in a drought for 2 months before we came.
Oh, wow.
Record temperatures, 90, 95 degrees, no
Ooh.
rain. And every day when we got there on Monday, every day we circled to do a prayer activation, it began raining on us. And
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like, whoa,
What a feeling, though.
a huge message, right? And I realized that we were working with the triple goddess energies of Hathor, who
Oh,
was the
neat.
goddess of rain,
Oh,
Mary Magdalene, and Isis,
oh, okay.
with the energies there of the Magdalene frequency in this very potent place. And so I later realized that these particular women, all of us were called to do a completion for a previous timeline that we were on together, to really, so the rains were coming in to clear our fields and to clear the fields of the land, and to wash
Yes.
away the fear and the distortions, and the conflict and all of that. So Montsegur was no different. We went up the mountain, and as soon as we got up there, the fog started coming in. It had been a beautiful, sunny day, and we circled up on the backside. There was a little wall with a little fresh spring and grass. And so we circled up and we did a forgiveness prayer, for what had happened to the Cathars,
Oh,
at
wow. How
Montsegur.
neat.
Yeah, and I had known that I was a Cathar, and I had lived
Oh,
at that
okay.
time. Yeah, so this was for my own healing and the healing of the
Right.
group. And it,
Wow.
it was very powerful. I saw clairvoyantly about 12 to 13 Cathars come in for the ceremony. I could see them
Wow.
in their dress,
Oh,
and they had come in for to join us, and we did the forgiveness activation. And then I did a Magdalene Light activation, and then they actually crossed through the veil. So they were
Oh,
actually souls who were trapped. Their spirits were trapped during the tragedy, and they had not crossed over to the other side.
wow.
And so it was like, it was a miracle. I had not planned that, didn't know it was going to happen or anything. And then at the end, three male angels came in. They were all white, glowing with a golden crystalline glow around them, just bringing in the energy of peace. And
Oh,
just three of them standing in our circle after that with thank you and thanking us for coming to do the ceremony, and then just really bestowing the energy of peace and helping us to anchor that in. And I didn't remember at the time that Montsegur is actually a 12th dimensional stargate. So
oh,
I didn't
wow.
I had forgotten that, before I went, and I was like, "Oh, wow, I totally forgot that," right? So we were very close through the 12th dimensional stargate. The veil was very, very thin there, but it was
Wow.
a beautiful miracle that, just unbelievable. And I share this because I want others to know that you have just as much capacity to do this as I do, and other women. You have it. You have beautiful gifts that are just waiting to bloom and to blossom wherever you are, right,
Wow.
Teresa?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and that nothing is impossible, Teresa. Nothing is beyond impossible. There's endless, unlimited opportunities for us to remember that we're already whole. We're
Yeah.
already, loved, you know, 100%. We're not broken. We don't need this fixing sort of thing. We're already sovereign, and we're not slaves to
Yeah.
anything outside of us, right? So it's happening, and as soon as we see the rise of the
Yeah.
divine high priestess feminine this year, and she roots deeper and deeper into the earth, then we're going to be able to heal the wounded king, the wounded masculine, help him to heal his wounds through our heart and the heart of the mother. And then as he rises up beside us, we can enter that beautiful state of sacred union, and we bring that back into this earth. And the earth then begins to restore. We begin to restore nature. We begin to restore our bodies. We begin to restore our connection to the stars
Right.
and to the earth. And then this is not a fairy tale.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people feel like, oh, this is a fairy tale or a myth. Teresa, this is so real. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
I couldn't have made up everything
Mm.
I shared with you, and all many other experiences, otherworldly experiences that I had in France.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't intend it. I didn't imagine it. It is all part of the awakening process, that we are multidimensional. We're
Yeah.
multidimensional, 12-stranded Christos-Sophia, um, the original, what is it? The original template, right? And that's happening, and it's real. So, to never give up, to never lose hope.
Yeah.
And even if you are, if you're struggling, to please reach out and ask for help. Find someone that you
Yeah.
trust, right? And that you can totally shift it. You can totally shift your inner world into this inner state of beyond wholeness. Really, I see it way beyond wholeness. I see it just coming back to our original true nature, our authentic self, our I am,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, neat.
So, did you want to do an activation process today, or?
Okay, we can do that. I'm still trying to figure out the screen because first I had it so I could barely see anything, and I didn't know, and now it's way big. Okay, now I got it to normal.
Okay.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, um, yeah, let's do an activation right now, and
Okay. Okay. All right, because I know I wanted to share that, and I was trying to pick one out because there's so many good ones that I
Thank
have for
you.
your audience.
Thank
And
you, Laura.
yeah, let's do this one, the Magdalene Sophia Rose Flame activation ceremony. How does that feel?
Oh, I love that.
Okay, beautiful.
Sophia.
So we'll do this activation to activate, the Magdalene Sophia Rose Flame within you, right? And then I would encourage that, uh, sometime after the activation, because it will begin to activate this divine remembrance of this frequency that we're talking about, this pure flame frequency that runs in your DNA, runs in your blood. It's inside of you. It's not outside of you, right? And so just to invite yourself to come into this is as relaxed and as open as you can. So let's just start with I'm just going to invite everyone to close your eyes and just to be open to breathing and receiving, the divine remembrance of this activation, of this pure stream of the Magdalene Sophia consciousness. And just allow your body to soften. And I want you to actually just drop your mouth open just a little bit as you relax your face and your jaws. Just relaxing the face, the jaws. And just let your mouth slightly drop open, just a little bit. And I want you to just take a few breaths through the mouth, not through the nose, but through your mouth. And just allow that breath that's rolling across the tongue slowly in and out very gently. And allow your breath to soften as you relax, and bring the breath down into the throat, into the heart, the high heart, the heart. Slowly breathing it in and just allowing your awareness to ride on your breath. Beautiful. And just really ask your breath to cleanse and release all thoughts, feelings, and energies which truly do not belong to you, are no longer serving you. So let's just release those energies that are not for your highest good from your cup, from your grail, from your body at every level, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And just let those energies return to the source of absolute love for the highest good of ourselves and everyone, all beings everywhere. And now I just want you to say to yourself, I receive, I breathe, I receive, and I say thank you. Beautiful. And so just kind of really relaxing in this state. If you can, relax your head back just a little bit, tilting the head back just a bit, not so that you're not too rigid. Gently, like rolling the eyes into the back of the head a little bit, just like you're focusing up to receive these energies of this transmission. And so bringing one hand to your heart and one hand to your womb or lower belly and taking the priestess position. So this position automatically connects you to heaven and earth. One hand on your heart is connecting you into the heart, Divine Mother, her heart, into Sophia's heart. And then one hand on the womb, connecting you to the heart in your womb, into the heart of Mother Earth. Beautiful. And now I'm going to bring in some words and just tune into these words. And you can either say them to yourself or you can just tune into the energy. We gather now as daughters of the rose flame in the name of she who was never lost, only veiled. In the name of she who sings through our wombs and weeps through our remembering, we call now upon the rose lineage. We call into this sacred, beautiful space today the frequency of Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Isis, Grandmother Anna, Kuan Yin, and even Sophia herself. Come now through us, as us, within us, and let the remembrance begin deep within. Beloved sister, you are not becoming, you are remembering. You were never broken. You were never unworthy. You have walked through flame before. You have anointed kings, and you have wept at tombs. You are the Grail, dear sister. You are the womb that holds the divine and births it through the body of Mother Earth. You are a Magdalene. Through your voice, dear sister, the song returns. Through your womb, the flame rises. Through your tears, the codes awaken. In this moment, I call you to remember you are she. And now, if you want to take a moment just to bring a finger up to the third eye and gently just touch the third eye, kind of self anointing your third eye, touching at the base of the neck, anointing the heart, the throat, the heart, and then down to the womb, just anointing with your own beautiful energy, your own graceful energy. And now say out loud, I anoint myself in remembrance,
I anoint myself in remembrance
that the flame lives in me now.
that the flame lives within me now.
And now bringing one hand to the heart and the other hand on the womb. And now breathing into your heart, breathing into your womb, just taking deep, deep breaths in through the heart, through the womb. And now begin to feel or imagine or see or sense a beautiful rose flame rising from deep within you. This beautiful golden red and soft and powerful, pure golden red flame is burning deep within your womb. This is not a flame of destruction. This is the Christed flame of creation. Let it begin to rise within you. Let it speak and let it sing through you now. And just picture that and feel it in the womb and then growing up, expanding up through the heart, blooming in the heart, expanding up through the throat, filling the pineal. Elisha no mi ala ilo mo shikina na ilino manaya kania shikina ilio matoko ia nakaya aya no munia shiki oya na ila ko na kai oya na shia na yano oya ni akunina yoshia nakatia oya oya hinana oya na shakatia naki oya na ya tokunia na ya oya ni ana shia kotia oya tia Nianana una I shikina ota. Una iya. Breathing out and breathing in. And now anchoring in this beautiful golden red frequency, the Magdalene frequency, the Magdalene consciousness. And now speaking this out loud, I am the flame returning.
I am the flame returning.
I am the Grail remembered.
I am the Grail remembered.
I am the Magdalene rising.
I am the Magdalene rising.
I am the daughter of Sophia.
I am the daughter of Sophia.
I am soul love, soul knowing, and soul seeing.
I am so love, so knowing, and so seeing.
Yes, I reclaim my crown. I rise now.
I reclaim my crown. I rise now.
So now just imagining and visualizing yourself being crowned on the crown chakra, top of the head. Beautiful. And holding yourself in this beautiful energy of the Magdalene Sophia frequency, feeling it deep within your body and being into every cell. And just going deep within and noticing what's happening in your body. And then I'll bring in this closing blessing. You are not here by chance. You are a temple walking. You are the voice of the Shekinah, and may the flame in your womb never be dimmed. May the rose in your heart bloom in its time, and may the sovereignty of your soul guide you forward. So be it, and so it is. It is done, it is done, it is done. So your hand on your heart and your hand on your womb and lower belly, just sealing in this activation and seeing a beautiful grounding cord moving down from the heart through the womb, the earth star below the feet, all the way down into the heart womb core of the new earth, the new earth. Beautiful. And just seeing how this beautiful, or feeling or sensing or noticing any internal shifts within, as this is also part of your celestial tree of life that is being resurrected and rebirthed today. So you are rebirthed, beautiful one. And then I'll just bring in this message from Mary Magdalene
Thank you.
as well. You are the living grail. The rose of Sophia blooms within your heart, and the light of the Christos flows through you. Walk the path of love, and all shall be revealed. The rose is eternal, and so is your soul. The path of the grail is within you. And as you awaken, you will remember, hold the light, and it shall guide you home. We come from the light, and we are returning to the light. So be it, and so it is. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mary Magdalene. So just breathe that in and notice your body. And yeah, thank you for letting me share.
Oh, Laura, that was beautiful, though. The energies, I could feel the like it was Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene who I noticed, but it was like they were there and energies locked in. I don't know how to describe it, but stuff
I
locked
feel it.
in.
I feel it. Yeah.
And then I felt this amazing home feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like home. And I totally didn't figure that out exactly because I was like, oh, wow, these energies. Oh, so it's so neat. So thank you for all that. I'm sure I've got lots to download out of there in my cells now. And so I thank you for what you brought through. And you answered all three of the questions that I had and everything. So I totally
Oh,
appreciate
beautiful.
that.
You're
You
welcome.
got If everyone here has enjoyed this and enjoyed this conversation with Laura, first of all, please share this out. This is exciting, but it does not end here. We are meeting in about 25 more minutes, and we are having a beautiful, all four of our speakers that were there, and we are sharing some last moments of this beautiful afterglow that we've all created over all these days. And it's really beautiful, and I'm excited, and we will see you all there. And next Sunday, when you return, we are going to have Stacy Brayuga on, and we're going to be talking about mental health and the spiritual communities. And so it's going to be an interesting conversation. And I, for one, I can't wait for that one. And so I thank you all. And if you're going to be at the Temple of Her Voice event, I will be there with you guys real soon. Thank you. And thank you.
Thank you. Blessed be.
This is a beautiful